Matthew 24 says that there will be pestilence arising with rapidity and severity, that the world cannot take it anymore, and Jesus will come back and return and make all this world new heavens and new earth. Mpox was declared a global public health emergency by WHO. Now what? The news says the outbreak involves a newer strain primarily seen in African countries. August 16, 2024, the spread of a newer strain of Mpox in Africa led the World Health Organization to declare the disease a public health emergency of international concern, PESTILENCE, last Wednesday. This newer strain is believed to be behind an outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, with more than 14,000 cases, mostly among children, and more than 500 deaths, and has been detected in neighboring countries that had never reported countries of Mpox before. Mpox is troubling the European nations along with the United States and Australia, and with that the viral infection has raised an alarm all across the globe. Almost a dozen countries have reported confirmed cases of Mpox, including European countries, and more than 100 cases in Europe, North America, and in Australia. The World Health Organization called an emergency meeting to discuss the recent outbreak.
It's unusual for the world to see this many cases reported in different countries outside of Africa. Interesting thing about this virus is also that we think it can be transmitted through contaminated clothing or what we call fomites.
Mpox belong to the family of pox viruses, which include smallpox. The disease got its name after the scientists discovered it among laboratory monkeys in 1958. Since then, most infections have been concentrated in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Nigeria. Patients typically develop a rash 1 to 3 days after the appearance of fever, often beginning on the face and spreading to the other parts of the body, such as the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. Sweden became the first nation outside of the African continent to report a case of the newer strain of Mpox, according to the country's public health agency. Cases of other strains or clades of Mpox have popped up in other countries. In the US, there are more than 1,600 cases reported this year so far, more than twice the number seen at this time last year, but not as many as seen during the outbreak in 22 and 23. It's clear that a coordinated international response is essential to stop these outbreaks and save lives, said WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus during a media briefing on Wednesday. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Infection and the UK's Health Security Agency said they are investigating a range of cases, including those among individuals who self-identify as men who have sex with men, and urge gay and bisexual men in particular to be aware of any unusual rashes or lesions. The Bible clearly prohibits homosexual relation of any form. Not only it goes against God's pattern of marriage, but it also has health hazards. Experts told ABC News that by declaring a PESTILENCE or PEG, the World Health Organization can help more countries collaborate by sharing data, allocating resources, and helping make vaccines more readily available. What is fake? PESTILENCE is defined as an extraordinary event in which determined to constitute a public health risk to other states through the international spread of disease and to potentially require a coordinated international response by the international health regulations. To be considered a fake PESTILENCE, the condition is considered serious, sudden, unusual, or unexpected, has implications for public health beyond where the place it originates, and has the potential to require immediate international actions according to the World Health Organization. CNN.com. WHO declares Mpox outbreak a global health emergency. It was unanimous that the current outbreak of Mpox, upsurge of Mpox, is an extraordinary event. Committee Chair Dimi Oigina said, "What we have in Africa is the tip of the iceberg. We are not recognizing, or we do not have the full picture of this burden of Mpox. But we are not dealing with one outbreak of one clade. We are dealing with several outbreaks of different clades in different countries, with different modes of transmission and different levels of risk," Tedros clarified. No cases of clade Mpox have been identified in the U.S., the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says, but it is monitoring the situation, and the U.S. government has offered funding, assistance, and vaccines to World Health Organizations and DRC to support efforts in Africa. The organization has signed off on the emergency use listing process for both Mpox vaccines and developed a regional response plan requiring $15 million with $1.5 million released from the World Health Organization Contingency Fund for Emergencies. NewYorkTimes.com says, the virus is evolving and the newest version spreads more often through heterosexual populations. Sweden reported the first case outside Africa. Faced once again with a rapidly spreading epidemic of Mpox, the World Health Organization on Wednesday declared a global health emergency. Jesus prophesied 2,000 years ago that we will experience pestilence in the final days with rapidity and severity, just like a woman in birth pains. The rapidity and severity will increase as we come closer to the second coming of Jesus. As Matthew 24 verse 8 says, all these are the beginnings of birth pains. Tedros Ghebreyesus, the director of World Health Organization, tweets, "Thank you, Your Holiness," at Pope Francis for reminding the world of the importance of solidarity in stopping C-19 and saving lives. Solidarity meaning everyone united in one interest. He says in another tweet, "I'm honored and humbled to have met Pope Francis. We share a commitment to improving the health and well-being of both rich and poor countries." The World Health Organization granted the Holy See permanent observer status at the World Health Organization. The Holy See has been accorded a non-member state observer status by the WHO. An observer can direct policies, has the right to participate in the general debate of the WHO's World Health. It can make interventions and be inscribed on the list of speakers without prejudice to the priority of members. Let us open our eyes and keep watch for more signs of the nearness of Christ's return. Let us watch and pray and share this video for awareness. Let us keep safe and fix our eyes on Christ as we see signs of the times. God bless.